Welcome to the first edition of Nahar Jito Bookathon, presented in association with the Raisoni Foundation. My name is Gaurav Paul, and I'm joining you from Dubai. I'm an entrepreneur here. I have been in Dubai for the last 27 years, and I've been working in the fields of communication and technology. In today's session, we explore the book, The Story of Immunity by Medha Bhaskaran. Immunity, as we all know, is a very important topic for all of us. Having been through COVID-19 and other similar episodes, we know that immunity is so critical for our well-being. A brief about Medha. She is a microbiologist and has worked for the food and pharmaceutical industry in marketing as well as business development in Germany, India, and in the United Arab Emirates. She has written articles on a variety of medical subjects for leading newspapers in India and the Gulf. She is the author of Chhatrapati Shivaji's best-selling biography, Challenging Destiny, which was published by the Right Place, Raymond Crossword, the publishing division of Crossword Bookstores. It was nominated in 2 categories at the Raymond Crossword Book Awards in 2017. Since then, she's written other books, but today's focus is the story of immunity. So Medha, welcome to our event today, and we'll start the engagement.
Thank you.
Tell me, Medha, welcome again. What inspired you to write a book on immunity?
So it was in 2020 when COVID-19 was raging, and there was this platform called Quora Digest, and people ask questions and people who know the answers answer them. So when I started answering questions about COVID-19, pandemic, and the virus itself, within few weeks, I realized that I have more than 65,000 people reading my answers. But as you know, that any science, the answers, my answers were short and they could not explain the entire science behind what they had asked. So as you know that if you want to know the right answer based on science, you should know it's incremental knowledge. If you want to know about B, you should already know about A. If you want to know about C, you should already know about A and B. So I said this way of answering questions on a serious subject is incorrect. So that is what prompted me to write a book where people will know from A to Z about immunity and the virus and the pandemics. That way.
Great.
This is what prompted me to write the story of immunity. Yeah.
Right. Medha, in your book, you describe immune cells as unsung heroes. Could you elaborate on the roles of different immune cells and how they work together to protect our bodies?
Yes, so it is not just the immune cells. Actually, there are many unsung heroes in our body. First itself is the lymphatic system. When you get infection, the lymph nodes in the armpits and groin swell. Okay, we have several hundred lymph nodes in our body, and they are actually the immune headquarters. Okay, then lymphatic system also has bone marrow, which gives birth to our immune cells. Our immune cells also mature in bone marrow, and then they go and wait at the portals, opening portals of our body, like near our mouth or in the respiratory tract. And then there is what is called the microorganisms which live on and inside our body. Like if we have 35 trillion human cells in our body, We have more than 100 trillion microorganisms on and inside our body. And this is known as microbiome or microbiota or our body's flora. Like, they are very important. And then there are immune cells. Immune cells can be categorized. They are various type of immune cells. Some are our frontline soldiers. They sit in our tissues, near our mouth, or under our skin, or in our respiratory tract. They wait for any bacteria to enter, or in our guts, or in the reproductive system, near the reproductive system, where the openings are there. They sit and wait if any bacteria or virus enters. And then this, when they find something suspicious, see, they have to be very clever. There are good bacteria and bad bacteria. There are good viruses and bad viruses. Some are our friends and some are our enemies. So these immune cells need to be clever enough to understand who is the enemy, who is the harmless bystander, or who is the friend. So once they recognize, if there is like, once the virus or bad bacteria enters, the soldiers, the frontline soldiers, kill it. They phagocyte, they engulf it, phagocyte it, and they also take a bit of that virus or a bacteria to our immune headquarters, that is known as the lymph nodes. And here is the meeting place where they meet special immune cells, you see. So it's like lymphatic system plays a role, the immune cells play a role, and the immune cells, the frontliners, take the virus to the lymph nodes and show this particular particle to the specific or advanced immune cells. And the advanced immune cells take it from there, Like, for example, the advanced immune cells, like, for example, measles virus attacks us. So measles virus, when it attacks us, the frontline soldiers take a bit of that measles virus to the lymph nodes, where the lymph nodes, where the special immune cells wait in ambush. Once they recognize these particular immune cells, not all of them will recognize this particular measles virus. Some of them will recognize this measles virus, and, well, they will clone themselves. Those who recognize the measles virus, they will clone themselves into millions of special immune cells that recognize the measles virus. So all this is explained in this book. But to understand the immune cell, first of all, the readers will have to understand what is a human cell. So the book starts with what is human cells? What is the machinery of a human cell? What human cell does? What is its main function of a human cell is to make proteins. So the entire machinery is there, which is a DNA, which has a blue chip, which has a information about how to make protein. And then there are ribosomes, which are the factories of proteins. This kind of cell, unless one understands the human cell, one will not understand immune cell. This is my answer.
Right. Medha, you mentioned various challenges to the immune system, such as infections, cancer, autoimmune disorders. How does your book address these challenges and provide insights into immune health?
So these immune health, like these immune cells, how do they say they have to, whether they are the frontline immune cells like macrophages, which are the sentinels of the area, or the dendritic cells, which carry a bit of a virus, pathogenic, like disease causing virus, to the lymph nodes to show it to the advanced immune cells. Whatever there is, all this communication between the immune cells and our microorganisms in our body happens due to what is called biochemicals. You know, they speak with each other with the help of biochemicals. Like when there is a real threat of infection, there is an inflammation. So, you know, no, when there is an inflammation, the body is, if there is an infection, there is a cut on your body, that particular part becomes red, it pains, it swells. Okay, this is inflammation. This inflammation is caused by pro-inflammatory biochemicals produced by our immune cells. Okay, so these immune cells produce pro-inflammatory cytokine biochemicals, which are also known as cytokines. So this is the interplay of inflammatory cytokines produced by immune cells at the right time for the right infection. Okay, so this particular also after the infection is gone, why is the inflammation? First of all, inflammation makes the entire area porous, and it makes the blood capillaries with a small hairline, I mean, they're as thin as the human hair. These capillaries provide blood to that particular area. And now we need more immune cells in that particular area because infection has been established. So the inflammation is most important part of immunity, you know. It allows the immune cells to enter that particular area in large numbers and come to the ground zero where infection is happening and fight. Now this, after the infection is over, then the immune cells produce anti-inflammatory cytokines. These anti-inflammatory cytokines reduce the inflammation, repair the collateral damage. Many of our cells also die when there is a fight between immune cells and bacteria or viruses or pathogens. There are many other microorganisms. So this collateral damage has to stop. Tissue has to be repaired. So the immune cells start making anti-inflammatory cytokines. So it is an interplay between the immune cells producing pro-inflammatory cytokines and anti-inflammatory cytokines. Now the reader has to understand this. What is important is in diseases like diabetes or obesity, there is a confusion because sugar levels are going up, or in obesity, a lot of triglycerides are there in the blood. Cholesterol is high, triglyceride levels are high. In these situations, our immune cells get confused and they think that there is a kind of trouble in the body and they start producing pro-inflammatory cytokines. This is known as, in sterile conditions, there is no infection now. And when they produce pro-inflammatory cytokines in the absence of infection, something terrible happens in our body. There is a low-grade inflammation which spreads all through our body and which can affect all our organs, which is explained in detail in the story of immunity. Yeah.
Great.
So you have to see how they behave, the immune cells. You have to keep them in check.
Right, Meda, some practical insight into diseases like diabetes and obesity. These are, impacting people all over. So, can you give some insight into these and how immunity impacts
Yes.
the human body?
Yes. So the thing is, like, for example, if you like, obesity is now a disease, you know, is declared as a disease it is diagnosed as a disease. So if you see a lot of people with bellies, big bellies, like it is a visceral fat or VAT, visceral adipose tissue, VAT. In that, the fat cells have overgrown, and they need more and more blood supply. So new blood vessels are made by the body, and these new pipelines give blood to the fat cells there. But they are so huge, the fat cells, they are so hungry for blood and they want to grow. Sometimes the demand is so much that this pipeline bursts and the fat cells die due to lack of oxygen and food, because the blood is bringing that. And they release the triglycerides in their bodies into the environment. So when they release that, the sentinel immune cells like macrophages get disturbed. They say, oh my gosh, there is some trouble here. And these macrophages, which are our sentinels of the area, which actually are involved in repairing the body tissue after the infection is gone, start producing inflammatory cytokines. And the inflammation sets in there. Okay. Now, as far as diabetes is concerned, high sugar, if the sugar levels are not controlled, they impact our immune cells, especially the frontline immune cells, in such a way that they undermine the function of these frontline immune cells. They reduce the function of the frontline immune cells. As a matter of fact, forget diabetes. Even if you eat a spoon or two of sugar for few hours, the function of the immune cells is reduced. Okay. This is told to me by a doctor called Om Srivastav, who was on the board of COVID-19 for Maharashtra and who was a consultant to Jaslok Hospital and Reliance Hospital. Okay. So he said, he tells people who are fasting that if you fast, because they are not taking medicines for that time if they are suffering from viral infection. So he says, do one thing. If you cannot take the medicines on time, do not take sweets during those days, during after break. When they break fast, do not eat sugary things, because that will undermine your immune cells. So sugar is like a white poison. Okay. And not uncontrolled diabetes. There is a frontliner called neutrophil, which is very interesting. This neutrophil, they die. They live only for few hours in our body. But they are the first killers. They are the soldiers. They are the commandos who come to ground zero. They're the first ones to arrive in millions. Okay. These neutrophils in the capillaries, they first come when there is an inflammation, they come in great numbers. They adhere to the blood pipeline and then they penetrate themselves, they squeeze themselves outside where the infection is in large numbers. So in diabetic patients, these neutrophils cannot adhere to the blood vessels. They cannot squeeze themselves in. They cannot reach the site of infection. Therefore, infections happen in large numbers in diabetic people. Now here, if a person is diabetic and he is not or she is not looking after the sugar control, how many concoctions and how many medicines you eat to boost your immunity is not going to help. You see, controlling your sugar levels is the first step to boost your immunity in such people.
Got
Have
it.
I answered? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is interesting, and all of us should take care about both obesity and diabetes, because consequences can be quite horrible, as you indicated. I want to now come to these global health crises that we've seen over the last few years. The world has been trying to grapple with HIV, and more recently COVID-19. Does your book explain the impact of these diseases on our immune systems?
Yes, in detail, actually. Uh, I will tell you an interesting thing about HIV. See, the viruses are just particles, They either have DNA or RNA. They need the machinery of an animal or a human or a bacterial cell to replicate themselves. They cannot replicate themselves. They have to enter a cell, hijack our cell's machinery, and replicate. So, they have a docking site, they have to inject whenever virus enters our body. It is attracted towards a particular cell. Maybe it is a liver cell, respiratory cell, or it may be an immune cell, of all you know. These are the special docking sites of a particular virus. They dock there, they sit on your cell, they inject their material, whether RNA or DNA, into your cell, hijack the machinery of your protein making machinery of your cell, and replicate. What does HIV do? HIV guns for a very important immune cell of ours, a special immune cell called CD4 cell. Now, to explain that will take hours and hours. Well, in the book, it is explained, okay, in detail. So, what HIV does, how it impacts our immunity? First of all, it attacks, its docking site itself is our very pivotal, very important immune cell. And it's an RNA virus, HIV. There are either RNA or DNA virus. This is an RNA virus. It enters your immune cell, the CD4 cell. It hijacks the system, and it converts itself into a DNA, and a part of its DNA, it incorporates into your immune cell's DNA. Now your immune cell does not only carry the information of what your parents or grandparents or grandparents faced infections, but it also carries the information about HIV virus, and it helps the HIV virus to make billions of copies of itself. The immune cell, now imagine our immune cell helps the HIV virus to make its millions and millions of copies. What happens? This CD4 important pivotal immune cell of ours, loaded with HIV virus, produces some cytokines to tell other immune cells that, look, I'm infected. So other CD4 cells come near this infected CD4 cells to help. Okay, but what happens? This particular loaded CD4 cell, it explodes like a grenade after some time because it's so loaded with HIV. When it explodes like a grenade, with the impact, many healthy CD4 cells which have come to help this infected CD4 cells also die. This brings down the count of our CD4 cells to dangerous level, and our immune system can no longer tolerate even simple infections like common cold. Our immune system collapses. This is how HIV impacts our immune cells. Okay. Now, as far as COVID-19 is concerned, the docking site of COVID-19 is very interesting. It is not a respiratory virus. It attacks all your body cells. Its docking site is known as ACE2 inhibitor receptors. All our cells have receptors. When you see, it's mind-body connection again. When you're angry, when you are in danger, your one system of your brain, like sympathetic nervous system, takes over. It prepares your body to fight or take flight. Okay, this means your blood pressure goes up, your heart's beats increase. Imagine you're facing a lion or a tiger in a forest, immediately what will happen? You want to run, or you are preparing to fight. So your blood pressure goes up, your sugar levels go up because you need energy, and your heartbeats go up, your lungs expand to get more oxygen. So this is sympathetic. When the danger is gone, it all calms down. In COVID, our cells have receptors that excite the cells, that accept the hormones which excite the cell, and which accepts the hormones which calms down the cell. This ACE2 inhibitor, the ACE2 receptors are the receptors which receive hormones which calm down the cell. The calms down the cells. That means you calm down, your blood pressure is down, your sugar levels are down, you're happy. What the COVID-19 virus does is it blocks, its docking site is these ACE receptors, ACE2 receptors. So when they sit on all ACE2 receptors, our system collapses. Our blood pressure goes up, our sugar levels go up, our stress levels go up. So this particular virus affects our cells in such a way that we remain in flight or fight mode, we never calm down. So that is how COVID-19 affects the entire system. When this is affected, the immune cells are confused. They think that's an emergency and they start producing inflammatory cytokines in large numbers. You must have heard that during COVID-19, many people died due to cytokine storm. And this was the reason for that, you see, which is clearly explained with the help of diagrams, very informative and simple diagrams in this book.
Got it.
Figures. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Medha, you touch upon the role of immune cells in neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's. Could you explain how immune responses in the brain affect overall neurological health?
Yeah, so that is very interesting. This was also a learning process for me. Like our soldiers, like what I said, we have frontline soldiers and then we have special soldiers. And when they fight against the infection, there is a collateral damage. Lot of immune cells die, lot of body cells die, and then the body needs to be repaired, which is repaired by macrophages, which produce calming down anti-inflammatory cytokines. Now imagine if these soldiers, maybe they are frontliners or advanced soldiers, enter our brain and start fighting there. Imagine what will happen, what happens in collateral damage in the brain. If there is a collateral damage, neurons will die. But we cannot afford neurons dying, because when the neurons die, they will take away our memory, our learning of years and years of years, you see, and we will be like senile. So there is a tight junction between body and brain. Brain has a special immune system. Brain does not allow our normal immune cells to enter. It's not done. But what happens, if there is great stress, maybe it's genetic, or maybe it is environmental, like lifestyle, alcoholism, smoking, obesity, diabetes, or maybe it is infections or brain injury or brain infections. Whatever is the brain injury, the tight junction which separates the brain and the body is now broken. And the large number of our soldiers, which actually protect our body, enter the brain where they are not supposed to be. And when they start fighting in the brain, start producing inflammatory cytokines, they kill the neurons, which leads to senility. When neurons are gone, loss of neurons means loss of memory and loss of so many other cognitive functions. There are many diseases. It's not just Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, or multiple sclerosis. A lot of diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, are now connected to our immune cells. Okay. And it's a complete, two complete chapters are devoted. What about the immunity of the brain and how it can go haywire and cause neurodegenerative diseases, and how our immune cells play a role in those diseases too, you see.
Got it. Medha, vaccines are critical for our boosting immunity. How
Yes.
does your book explain the science behind vaccines and their role in preventing disease?
Vaccines, according to me and according to what I have learned through several um, um, research articles published in respected journals, as well as talking to the doctors and the vaccine makers, vaccines are the only immune boosters, according to me, other than our lifestyle. Okay. So, how actually it's like with vaccines, we train our immune system. Like we show them that this kind of virus or bacteria may enter, and then you have to be prepared. Okay. So, a kind of a first, what in the beginning, the vaccines where you first attenuate or make the pathogen means disease causing microorganism, make that pathogen inactive or not capable of causing the disease. Make it that way. Make it in the lab. Okay, grow it in different medias like eggs, or 100 times you not allowing it to grow in the human body. So it will lose its capacity to cause infection, but it will not lose its capacity to awaken our immune system. So you inject those kind of pathogens in the body, or a part of pathogen. Okay, a part of that or a bit of that. See, we have or that pathogen protein. Protein is a long chain of amino acid. A short chain also is known as peptide. So you either take a protein or a peptide of that pathogen and inject in our body and show our immune system this kind of pathogen may enter. So you be careful. So our frontline soldiers know, and they also go to take that little bit and go to show it to the advanced immune cells. The advanced immune cells will be awakened. Advanced immune cells also have plasma cells which produce antibodies. They will be awakened. They produce antibodies against this kind. So this is a science behind vaccine. But now new science is coming in. Like you take out the DNA, like Covishield, we had in India, or AstraZeneca's vaccine, on which basis Covishield is based on. What they do, they tweak the DNA. They take the DNA of a small protein portion of the virus, like COVID, and they inject in your body along with a harmless virus which will enter your cell. Like in this case, it was a virus which caused some infections in chimpanzee. So they took a bit of COVID-19 virus, attached it to the virus of chimpanzee, which causes infection in chimpanzee, and injected. And that entered our cells and awakened our immune system. And then there is Pfizer's RNA vaccine, you must have heard, mRNA. Yeah. So this is a wonder of vaccines. This mRNA vaccine can actually enter our cells and teaches our cells how to produce this spike protein of, there are spikes like crown-like structures on COVID-19. They are known as spike proteins. This mRNA vaccine enters our body cells and teaches them how to make that spike protein or S protein and awaken our immune system. This is actually a wonder of wonders, this mRNA
Wow.
vaccine. Yeah, so there are many types of vaccines like that. And the entire chapter is devoted to vaccines. One can learn about those different types of vaccines in the story of immunity.
Great. Nidha, there's a lot of discussion about immune boosters. What does your book reveal about effective strategies to support immune health?
See, the immune health is you cannot separate. Like you say, oh, this dish is so good, something you eat. If it is made of vegetables, eggs, oil, olive oil, nuts, the dish is not tasty because one ingredient. It is tasty because how the ingredients are used, all the ingredients, and how it is cooked. Similarly, you cannot say, oh, I will boost my immunity. It's not a separate thing from our body. If you are healthy, your immune system is healthy. Now, if you are diabetic, if you are obese, if you are highly stressed, if your lifestyle is not good, alcohol consumption is high, you are breaking down all the barriers, the gut barrier, the blood-brain barrier, and then you are taking a lot of concoctions to boost your immunity, it's not going to help. Yeah. So my book says at the end, author's note, that simple things like good sleep, stress-free life cannot be there, but reduce stress. You cannot stress on things which are not under your control. It's very easy for me to say. I myself as am an anxious person, but less stress, keeping your body lean and mean, eating homemade food, because a lot of foods, processed foods, also undermine your gut immunity, which is extremely important. 70% of our immune cells are in our gut. Okay, 70% of the entire. So, processed foods, protein powders undermine your gut immunity. So, eating what your grandparents ate, the homemade food, is best. Then, sleeping good, breathing good air, which is also now not so freely available, and doing enough exercise, not too much. If you do extreme exercise, like you're all the time gymming, that also undermines your immune cells. So the mantra is everything in moderation. And worrying so much about immunity, that stress also can, just a thought, one thought of stressing yourself on of your, how am I going to help, or fat foods. I will not eat this, I will not eat this. I'll tell you about our gut. If you we certain things we cannot digest, like for example, certain fibers we cannot digest in the vegetables. The gut bacteria digest those for us. It is known as co-metabolism, coexistence. They digest for us and they produce short chain fatty acids for us. These short chain fatty acids are anti-inflammatory beings. Not only they provide us with nutrients, but they subdue the inflammation in our gut. And the gut bacteria also produce vitamin B, they also produce vitamin K, they also produce 95% of our neurobiochemicals. So if they
Wow.
are not happy, if you are killing them with processed foods, and if you are killing them with alcohol, excessive alcohol, or if you are killing them with rubbish food or a bad lifestyle, then well, you are not getting the anti-inflammatory products which they are producing. So all these things matter, It's not like how do I boost your immunity? Immunity is us. And we are like, it's a part of us. It's not separate from us. And there are many things. And it doesn't matter even if even if you're very healthy, and if you are extremely lean and mean, and you're controlled your weight and you're healthy, things can still happen. You see, still, I have seen people during COVID-19 pandemic that healthy young people died while those on kidney dialysis survived. So we cannot have a clear-cut answer. We can do only that much. After all, we are like, it's like being mortal,
Yeah, well put. Uh, we need to take on better habits and monitor ourselves that we are not going extreme,
Correct.
very little or too much. So,
Yes,
moderation, the middle path,
the
is
middle
the
path.
key.
Yeah, golden path, the golden middle.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Medha, given your background in microbiology and pharmaceuticals, what are your thoughts on the future of immune research and the potential breakthroughs in treatments or vaccines?
Yeah, so this mRNA vaccine, all these vaccine need extreme cold temperature to store. Now they are creating an mRNA vaccine which can multiply or amplify itself in your cells. Okay, which will multiply, the mRNA will multiply in your cell. This particular advanced mRNA vaccine will need very small doses, may not need booster, and also it can survive in room temperature. So transportation will be so easy. Then, of course, this is not a new discovery, which is known as monoclonal antibodies. Okay. Now, our body can produce antibodies against infection. Our bodies can produce, our plasma cells can, if you are you're very bothered about sterile environment, okay, you are keeping your house extremely clean, there are no microorganisms you are breathing in, what will happen to your immune cells? They will get bored. Oh my gosh, what do I do now? Okay, so it's a hygiene hypothesis. So they will, of course, there are genetic factors, environmental factors, then there are, other factors. But this is a hygiene hypothesis. They will start attacking your own body cells, which are known as autoimmune disease. Like in the case of rheumatoid arthritis, which can affect young people. It's not like old people's disease. That is osteoarthritis. In the case of rheumatoid arthritis, all your joints can be affected with extreme pain. What is happening here? At the joint, your plasma cells or those produce antibodies are producing toxic antibodies which are attacking your uh,
Immune system.
structure. No, which is attacking your joint structure and eating it away. Okay, so that's why these toxic antibodies or toxic auto antibodies are produced in rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, now what the science is doing, the new science, see, it is extraordinary. It's like magic. What they're doing is they are trying to create in the laboratory antibodies which will kill these toxic autoantibodies. Okay, those are known as monoclonal antibodies, which our body cannot produce. So there are so many treatments like these which will manage cancers or autoimmune diseases, like when antibodies start attacking our own body cells. There are many frontiers of research and many frontiers of new products. But the thing is, they are going to be terribly expensive to start with. You see, and they may not be available in all the countries to all the people. They may be available for a few privileged ones who have a lot of money. That's the only point. Yeah.
Well,
There's a
now,
patent.
yeah.
The question of patent will come in,
Correct,
Because
sure.
I understand, I
The
don't
big
blame, because
pharma industrialists are investing a lot of money in research. So they want to recover that and, of course, profits and
no, but
quarter to
Gaurav,
quarter growth.
no. They are taking a lot of help of the colleges, the research which is happening in research institutes, which are owned by the government. Okay, so it's not that they are investing all the money. So I feel that the patent period has to be reduced, and all these new medicines should be available to everyone. Okay, you don't have to sell your house or property to buy those medicines.
Right. No,
So that
I
is also
understand
explained.
uh, treatment for AIDS
Yeah.
used to be very, very expensive.
Yes.
And by the intervention of certain governments, now
Yeah.
they are more readily available. People can afford it, and things are getting better on that account. So similar
Yeah.
moves have happened even in COVID. There were some medicines that were available at a more affordable price. So yeah, good things are
COVID has
also coming.
no. COVID does not have any medicine as yet, which you can say for COVID. It is just that managing the disease. But
Right,
intervention with vaccines have made a great impact, you see.
right,
Vaccines play. HIV has no vaccine as,
right. We've
because
been
it is in,
hoping for one to come around,
yeah,
but
because it is,
it's still some time.
because it is integrating its DNA into the immune cell's DNA. How are you going to separate that? You
Right.
cannot separate it. It's difficult. Maybe perhaps in future, if brilliant scientist comes, we
Yeah.
don't know.
Veda, now I want to understand with your microbiologist background and your experience of writing other books, how did that influence your approach to writing this, the story of immunity?
So my microbiology background to help me so much that I could be in the pharmaceutical industry as a product development manager. So I had to study so many products and how they act and how they react in our body, how our body reacts to those medicines, what are the side effects, what is the half life. So and I used to give lectures, and I have given at least 125 lectures in the Gulf itself on dehydration at the cellular level. So my microbiology background helped me to understand the cell itself and how it reacts to different situations. So when COVID-19 struck, I started reading the research papers which are devoted to immunity, not to any product. Immunity. Those research papers are not selling any product. They are only explaining how the cells will behave in different situations. One very interesting, and then I started attending classes of Dr. Sal Khan's Institute USA. They give free lectures. So I started attending his lectures on immunology. So that helped me. And my background, of course, I was already at a platform to understand the subject. That helped. But I want to tell you something very interesting. This neutrophil I told you, is a commando, which engulfs the bacteria or the pathogen. It eats it and digests it. Okay, in very quick manner. Okay, is really quick acting. But it also does one wonderful thing. When it is overwhelmed with bacteria or pathogens or viruses surrounding it, it brings out its DNA material. It's like a suicide bomber. And it bombs its DNA material, it throws it outside and makes a fish net. Okay, and traps the microorganisms into it. So this was so interesting for me. It is also known as uh, neutrophil nets, NET, which is known as. I do not understand the long form, but it
Right.
is also known as nets. So these nets, so how immune cells behave, how wonderful they are, how they make clones of themselves. Like, for example, there is one Arjuna in Mahabharata, one war. Imagine if he had 1,000,000 Arjunas. So our immune cells can create those Arjunas, by cloning themselves. So this science is so interesting, and I wanted that to share with all the people who are medical or not medical. So they must understand how the immune cells work, how our body functions, how microbiome plays a role, how gut bacteria help us, how brain and body is separated, and how that separation can be disturbed, and what kind of diseases that can happen, due to that disturbance. So these people who read my book they are insulated by claims of many other false claims which say, oh, this will boost your immunity and this will boost your health. So I hope that more and more people read this book because it is written for them to protect themselves from false claims and false advices. Even lot of doctors were also confused during COVID, and many of them gave some kind of advice, because I don't blame them, because they themselves told me, the bunch of doctors, that we were so confused that we told people to inhale steam. But people inhale so much steam, you cannot kill a virus which has already entered your cell unless you kill the cell. So they were admitted into hospitals due to lung burn on the lungs. You see? So this doesn't work, going extreme. So
Great.
this is why I wrote the book in the first place, to help
Very well.
people.
Thank you, Medha. Wishing you all the very best for the success of your book. And if there is one message you have for people besides buying your book, what would you recommend that everybody does for enhancing their immunity?
It is just be happy, be healthy, and understand science a bit. That's all. Understand the science behind immunity.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we'd like to thank the Jito organization and
Yes,
the
me too.
Raisoni Foundation for facilitating this dialogue. And we'll see
And
you very soon. Thank you, Medha.
thanks to Akhil and Brunalini, those who are involved in our conversation, those who invited us. Thank you very much. And thank you for Gaurav for accepting to be a moderator for this.
Great. Thank you, Medha. See you.
Thanks.
Akhil, over to you.